All right, gang, welcome back to another Wake Up Humans with my man, Drew Henderson. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. It is a great week. It was a weird week last week, but we're glad that the tide lifts all the boats. You know
We're
what I
going to
mean?
address all that. We have to address it. And we're talking about Charlie Kirk and that, how do you have a voice in this world and not speak your voice? So we have to address that. And
Yeah.
but I also want to address something, the amount of texts and DMs I've been getting from people listening to this. One, I try to keep you updated with all that, but it's gotten a little overwhelming. But how grateful we are that people are actually loving this, listening to it. And we know we're doing some good, man. I mean, that's why we do this. I mean, here it is. It's 11:30. What's today? Wednesday,
I think.
and I got, I'm the curveball in this because I got the kids and I'm at volleyball Monday night when we usually record and I couldn't do it, but I'm like, we gotta produce because if we don't put it out there, I'm getting messages like, hey, you guys put nothing out there. And they're like,
We,
so
we are, bro. It's been busy, and I'm thankful for Dr. Claudia just to be like she's in there cranking out on people
yeah.
now, just like it's packed, and she just like, yeah, don't matter. It's all good. Go do it.
But I've
You know.
honestly, my headspace this past week, man. I mean, what happened with Charlie Kirk rocked me
Yeah.
to the core.
Yeah.
Um, like tough, man.
Yeah. Last week was tough. It just how sometimes stuff just piles on, and it's just heavy, man. It's just
It came out of
heavy.
left field. I'm walking through the office and someone goes, "Oh my God, Charlie Kirk was just shot."
Yeah.
And then, 15 minutes later, "Oh my God, he's dead." And
Yeah.
then 20 minutes later, someone walks in and puts a phone in my face and shows the shooting.
Yeah.
Like I
And
wasn't expecting that,
and
walking around.
then how do we go back to normal
You can't.
when we see that? Like it's just, but the world today is just like, look at this BS going on. Boom, that's horrible. And then, all right, let's go get something to eat. It's,
And then
it's like you
and then
can't,
realizing
man,
his beautiful wife, his two babies at home that are gonna see that. I mean, his wife has seen it for sure.
forever, man. And it's there forever, just like
Uh,
JFK. JFK.
and then seeing my kids react to it, especially my youngest Jamie, and she's like, I just can't stop looking at this. This is horrible. And people say, well, take her phone away. Well, welcome to the real world. She's 14. She's in school with her phone, and you can't keep it from them. Too late. Sorry. The thing I can't get over is, we talk about a subluxation, right? In a subluxated world, and you said it best years ago at DE. If you want to see what subluxated people are doing, watch the news. I will never
Yeah.
forget that. You said that, I'm like, that's freaking brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
people that live in a space of love and peace and harmony, and their nervous system is clear and their brain is clear in a reality of just love and all the foo-foo stuff, love, light, harmony, faith. They're not doing this shit, man. And I'm
No.
not here to say whether it's a conspiracy and there's other people. I don't know about all that.
Mm.
I don't know about all that. But at some point, one person or multiple people decide to take a man out on a college campus in pure public, and that shit ain't right.
No. No. And it just, we don't know all the cards that are at play. We don't know everybody sitting at the table with all the cards. Um, but I do know that whatever your price is, you've got to have a price. If it's 10 million, 30 million, 100 million, whatever your price is, you got a price. But if the price is not your life, um, I don't want to really sit with you,
Yeah.
because when you're telling the truth, the price has to be your life unless you're for sale,
Yeah.
and he wasn't for sale.
And then why should a man's voice be killable?
I know.
I see so many negative things, and you've even seen it post him getting killed. People like condoning it and
I know.
celebrating it, but you know what? That's their freedom, but it's not
Yeah.
right. We know it's not right. No man should be killed for their point of view, whether I agree in it, whether it's left, right, center. I don't know. It's their voice, their life. They got to pay the consequences. Now people are losing jobs over it and they're crying about it. There's consequences. but there's
Mhm.
also consequences for not finding some sort of strength through this, whatever that is for you, and then speaking it into existence, being a part of a solution. And I think the
Yeah.
solution right now is, as humankind across the world, let alone the United States of America, we got to start coming together and stop the hatred. You know,
Yeah.
I don't watch the news, but I'll tune in right now just to kind of hear what they're saying and what they're
Mhm.
finding. And the amount of like anger between, I'll call it CNN and Fox. These are grown men and women. It's ridiculous. Like, get a freaking life.
They're just yelling at each other,
Just
you know.
yelling at each other.
And there was somebody earlier that posted a thing that was condoning his shooting and all the stuff. And I'm just like, and this young woman's got a new baby. And I'm like, you would think somebody with kids would be like, Charlie Kirk was somebody's son.
Yeah.
He was somebody's dad. Like, regardless of whatever else, like that's somebody's baby boy,
Someone's baby,
you
man.
know? And like you have to see that. And you know, I even know when one of your daughters broke her arm at DE, um, like that was hard for everybody to see because you see this child that's hurting, and uncomfortable. But to see that, and we're all children, we're just older children,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
You
and
know
it's
what was
it's
interesting?
just
You bring up the whole Brooke thing, and it's like this may give this whole situation perspective because, I invite listeners to just pause for a minute in your own personal life and really look at, like, take a breath and what matters to you and what's your purpose? Why are we here? Like, I don't need to jump out there and put myself out there to get shot. I don't want to do that to my kids, right? But there's a truth that I believe will make the world a better place. And our stance is by people getting clear, getting that atlas clear is going to give you a basic foundation to grow and be more loving, healthier, and connected, and make hopefully better decisions in your life because you're connected. That's our
yeah,
message. That's the
yeah,
chiropractic message. It's not to like prove other chiropractors wrong or what they're doing in practice is wrong or what we think is wrong. Our philosophy is essentially God made you self-healing and self-regulating, gave you an innate intelligence that when you're connected to that, your freaking life is better.
yeah.
So when we saw Brooke, my daughter, years ago, break her arm, and I spent the whole night at the hospital in the ER, x-rays, elbow surgery, had to go back to DE, and I had to show up to perform, so to speak, to
Hmm.
speak. But remember, that was the DE that Tommy showed up.
Yeah.
And walking into that hotel and seeing Tommy, and for people that have read the book, know who Tommy is, and Diane, his mom, standing in the foyer, kind of brought me back to a reality of God has you on this mission to help people, enlighten people, reach people, try to take away people's suffering, whatever the words. So don't pout, pull your big boy pants on, and get to work. It's a
Yeah.
mission.
Yeah. And um we act tough sometimes, but I know that that we're both feelers and we're emotional, and like things touch us, man. Like there's probably I was telling somebody the other day, there's not a day goes by that I don't cry,
Yeah.
not a single day. And last night I was walking the dog. I do about every evening about an hour and a half. I didn't even listen to music, nothing, man. I just walked, go up to the hill in the cemetery, watch this perfect sunset, um, and just talk and be quiet. Talk to the Lord. Like you don't need like music and stuff all the time, but just be quiet. And that's just healing, you know. It's healing, but we have to know our mission. We have to know what we're doing, and we have to know like why we're here.
You're giving yourself a space for that mental calm to settle in.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's all the great speakers and motivators and people talk about, and Dr. Sid used to teach us that listening to that voice within, it's that spirit that has a space to talk through you and talk to you, that you
yeah,
have to allow times of quiet, which is the walk with your dog, to go out, no music, and just let the universe connect to you.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
universal energy.
yeah.
And we have to create that space.
Yeah, and it's okay to be emotional. You know, shit, I've been crying for a week and a half, like who knows why. And
Oh,
it's okay. I'm about to now, but it's all right. Like there's nothing wrong with it,
yeah, you're not
you
a
know.
pussy. You're not a pussy. You're actually a very strong man. Me and Johnny
Mhm.
Balsamo talk about this all the time because Johnny's one of the toughest dudes I know. He cries every time he speaks at DE. He's crying at the drop of
I
a.
know.
Me and him will get on a phone call and we'll talk about our kids and he's talking about his daughter and he's all choked up crying. It's okay to be
Yeah,
sensitive, right?
yeah. If you're living in this world and you're connected and you see some of the crap going on, it's hard not to be.
Well, you have to have that emotional balance, and it's okay. Like
Yeah.
if you're having moments of emotional, sensitivity, and you're sad, that's not that's not depression. That's
Mm.
life.
Yeah.
It's okay to be sad and emotional, and you don't have to bury it with a drug because we're not supposed to be sad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And and it's okay in 10 minutes. You don't have to feel obligated to stay sad. Like in 10 minutes, um, you can go get an ice cream and sit there in the sunset, knowing how blessed you really are.
Well, you got to always get back to a state of gratitude because we have a life to
Yeah.
live. That's
Yeah.
the reality. I've been thinking about Charlie's wife, right?
Mhm.
In a couple of weeks, the news isn't talking about this as much anymore. She's not getting the attention, and she's quote unquote alone, right? She'll never be
Mhm.
alone. She's a strong woman of faith, and she obviously has amazing people. But it's like when someone dies, and they do the memorial service, they honor, and then people get on with their life, which they have to.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which they have to. I mean, I talk about it in one of my books. It might have been the backpack about a woman who was on all these depression medications. She couldn't perform as a mother. Her relationship with her husband was falling apart and she was on like three different depression medications. When she came to the office, I'm like, well, what are you depressed? When did this start? And it started 3 years or so prior when her husband died or her father died. And she was really missed her father. That's why she was sad.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, did you think your father was going to live forever? And she just looked at me. I said, like, fathers are supposed to die.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
Mhm.
At the end of it all, she's like, I've been going to all this counseling and doing all this therapy, and no one ever put it into perspective like that. Like, we are all going to die. Your mom and dad are going to die. Our goal is to outlive our kids.
Mhm.
Okay. But at some point, what's going to lift you up? And what kind of lifestyle are you going to live to help you keep in a state of gratitude, blessing, hope, faith, love, and happiness?
Yeah. Yeah. And just stay connected in that and know that, like Dr. Sid would always say, um, a lack of appreciation can be worse than a malignant disease.
Oof.
But we have to be appreciative of the life we get to live. Um, Telling somebody this past week, they may be having some life changes going on and should be positive life changes, but sometimes it's just a lot of stress with changes. And I was telling her, I'm like, you know, life is great. Like we're sitting in an overpriced Mexican restaurant. Our bellies are full. We got the guacamole. It don't matter that it was extra. It don't matter. Like we live and sleep in a dry, safe place.
Mm,
Life is great. It's just how you want to see it. Then somebody else a while back, they had lost a spouse, and I told them, I'm like, just don't ever stop saying his name. You know,
yeah.
like they've got kids and stuff, and I'm like, just don't stop saying his name.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yep.
Keep talking about him, and it's fine.
But it takes work. It takes the
Yeah.
clarity to realize to do those action steps, to create gratitude. Their spirit's always with us. And then what can we do to help us keep those emotions moving? And it's like the Meadowlands experience. Dr. Sid's talks about the leaves in the stream that could clog up the movement of the stream. Through exercise and getting adjusted and eating well and prayer and meditation will keep those leaves and those blocks flowing and nothing better than a clear atlas. Like the world needs
Mm.
to understand living clear and keeping that atlas clear. That principle is coming to life.
Yeah. Yeah. You do that, your life will be the best that it can be.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it just will. And that's why like we focus on that.
Yeah.
It's not, right there at T7. Yeah, maybe you may feel a little locked up, but right here is what is holding your life back.
I've had
You
two
know, you
occasions where I had to go into a hospital and adjust somebody that was in a coma.
mhm,
It wasn't an anterior T7 in a hospital bed. It was rocking the Atlas.
yeah,
And they both woke up and lived. So
yeah,
I'm not smart enough to create that. That's
mm,
that I just knew where to go to tap it. And what people
yeah,
need to realize is that they need to tap that on a regular basis when needed, and
mhm,
their life will be changed. I mean, it'll create more resilience in their life,
yeah,
spiritual grounding, and connectedness to listen to that voice within, which is pure love. There's no
mhm,
anger, there's no hatred in this voice, right? It's not about your sexual connotation or who you choose to sleep with, not sleep with, what political, whatever. As a human being, a spiritual human being, what feels right and what's the right thing. And when you're clear, that's love.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And love is a verb. Love is action.
Yeah.
It's not a noun. Like it's in action. And I sent our little small group a picture a while back. It was back it was cold. I guess it's January or February. Um, Older patient of mine, he's not older, he's patient from a while back, moved away. And you wonder if people really get it or not. I hadn't seen him in forever. And his brother-in-law was in the hospital waiting on a heart transplant,
Mm.
and they're a younger couple, all of them are. He texted me, he was like, hey, this Philip, you think you could come down here and check my brother-in-law and like see how his atlas is?
Yeah.
Um, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I will. Like, this is like on a Thursday. I'm like, I'll be there Friday if that's good. I can come late tonight, but I don't know how visitation is and ICU. How about in the morning? So I went in the morning, adjusted him, um, looked at me. He was wanting fish by the time I was leaving, wanting something to eat. Um, I need to check and follow up. A few weeks ago, I saw where he was at the beach. So it looks like things are better. But even when you wonder if they get it, they're like, when the chips are down, they're like, can you come check him?
Mm.
You know, can you come check him?
And more people need to understand the power of that statement.
Yeah.
And better yet, taking action to make sure it's happening.
Hmm. And didn't want him checked because his hip hurt,
No,
you know,
no.
and I'm just thankful that people know they can call,
Well, you've
reach
created,
out.
and this is what DE does for doctors. It helps them create that space. Like you're a man that is pure love and connectedness because you've worked on that day in and day out. And what our profession is realizing is DE is that space that's been around for 50 years for chiropractors to come and shed their husks, to
Mhm.
remove their barriers, the things that are making them more human beings than spiritual beings. Because to be a
Mhm.
healer, you got to be spiritual being. You got to be damn clear. You got to be a
Yeah,
conduit for God to work through you. And that doesn't happen with a pile of emotions and shit inside of your soul that's slowing you down and blocking you. That's bigger than any leaf you can imagine. And DE has created that environment, and to me, it's the only place in the profession that exists that allows this to come in and get purely dipped and loved on, to heal yourself so you could go heal the world.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just like a minute ago, and this is like why it's tough to do what we do sometimes. Guy come in, been taking care of him since high school, I guess. Um, and now he's married, got a family. I just him on his wedding day, his dad on his wedding day. Um, got a beautiful one daughter. Um, just lost a pregnancy. His wife did like 3 weeks ago. And then yesterday they lost their dog that he's had since high school. And, he come in a minute ago and my dog loving on him. And we don't even have to say anything. You know, we didn't say sorry, like nothing. We just know he come in, he laid down, he got adjusted. We were both crying, hugged each other, and then he left. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's just been a hard month for a lot of people.
We just need more Drew Hendersons, bro. We
I
need
don't know, man.
more conduits.
Sometimes
We
I
need
start
more.
running my mouth.
That's all right. Listen, we've all been there, done that, but it's like you don't have an agenda.
No.
Your agenda is to love on people and help them have a better life. And you've
Yeah.
built that. You've built that through your pain, like
Yeah.
losing your brother and seeing that like those are the things that you let your pain be the fuel for your love.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
your
And you too with Ronnie, with your brother.
100%.
Like he's still alive, but you've lost him.
Oh yeah, he's so disconnected from a massive subluxation, bro. You don't
Yeah.
get that back, especially when you've buried it with years of drugs and medications. And I think the medical profession did the best they could, but the chiropractic profession never spoke up. My family never heard this story, which is why people need to get away from this bullshit of, well, I don't believe in chiropractic. Well, you don't believe in bullshit chiropractic, but when it's pure principle chiropractic and
Yeah.
done the right way, you will own it. It's beyond a belief. It becomes
Yeah.
part of your life that you cannot live without. You don't
Mm,
have to go to the chiropractor all the time once you start. If you don't care about your expression of life and living a life that's absolutely amazing and pure love and power, then don't take care of your brain stem. Walk around
mm.
subluxated. Walk around tired, fatigued, angry, disconnected from your spirit and your God, and watch what
Yeah.
happens with your life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And to be clear, you said drugs and medication, referring to Ronnie. That was not him. That was the medical establishment.
Dude, he was in like the top psychiatric hospital, Cornell Medical. I knew
Yeah.
nothing about chiropractic at this time. I went in the office, beautiful, massive office, big windows, massive mahogany desk. And here I come in jeans and a t-shirt. And I asked him, you talk about chemical imbalances. What chemicals are in balance? And he said, we don't know. I says, then how do you treat it? And he pulled out a big black binder, had to be over 100 pages, opened up to the first page. He said, we start there. And if that doesn't work, we start going down the line. And it was
Yeah.
all drugs. And I'm like, at least the
Yeah.
guy's honest. They're doing the best they
Yeah.
can, but they don't have
Yeah.
the answer. He admitted, we don't know. And they're like one of the top in the field and they don't know. They'll just say chemical imbalances, but what's not? And that's why when I got into chiropractic school and I listened to Reggie Gold talk about the chemistry of life and how
Mhm.
the nervous system controls the glands and the glands control your chemistry, I'm like, well, that's how we get a chemical imbalance is when your nervous
Yeah.
system is disconnected, the glands don't know what to do, and now you've got a chemical imbalance. Well, it makes perfect sense that if you've got a clear nervous system, the glands function better, the chemistry balances out naturally, and my damn brother could have been helped. But no
Yeah.
one spoke up.
Mm. And it all started on the football field.
Yeah.
Just a football field. Like so, if you got kids playing football, you got to get them to a chiropractor. You got
Yeah.
kids doing anything, like not just football. Like if you got kids, you got to get
Yeah.
them to a chiropractor.
You have to. Like my son
You know.
plays football, like top of the line football. He's getting
Mhm.
adjusted several times a week, or at least checked.
Yeah.
Dad, will you check me? He was
Mhm.
in a banging game Friday night. Couldn't move his arms Saturday
Mhm.
morning. People say, well, why do you let him do that? Because he chose the expression of life. He loves it,
Mhm.
right? But he also knows, Dad, will you check me? We check him before the game. We check him right after the game. We check him the
Yeah.
next day, usually twice. But he's not getting racked and cracked every time. He's getting adjusted what needs to be adjusted
Yeah.
immediately. Immediately. So that's why I allow my kid to play football.
Yeah. And then what would that do to his psyche if he feels this is his thing in life, but then he's not allowed to do it? How does that mess up their chemistry then? Because then he's not adapting to that emotional stress.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you can't follow your passion.
Dude, we were driving in my Jeep one time. He was a little boy. He was a little boy and he was playing flag football. And my intention was, all right, well, maybe we'll wait to high school when he's bigger and he's developed. And he started asking, Dad, I want to play tackle football. Dad, can I play? And I'm like, no, no, no. And I really had no pure intention other than like, it's just the right thing and let him develop and blah, blah, blah. And then one day we're driving. I knew exactly where we were on Highland Street. I could tell you exactly what stop sign I just came through. And I said, can't, and he asked me, Dad, can I play? I said, why do you want to play tackle? He said, I want to hit people. And I'm like, oh, his little spirit, his testosterone, little manhood, boyhood, whatever. He's a caveman, wants to, I can't suppress that.
Mm,
I can't, like, I have to listen to that voice that this is what he wants. Otherwise, it could go down in a lot of different directions. And I
yeah,
got home and I told Tammy, this is what just happened. I think we have to do it, which turned out to be one of the best things because at that age, they're not using their body fully. They're not hitting, they're not developed enough. Like they learn to fall and hit and roll. So it worked out. But I also had to not let my fear of what happened to Ronnie. I had to understand that Ronnie never got taken care of. He never
yeah,
got adjusted. His brain stem, by the time I got to it and learned what I knew, and I took him to get X-rays, and he was 4.5 millimeters subluxated, which is massive. It was too late.
yeah, yeah. It's and there's that limitations of matter, just that limitations of matter, man.
That's right. That's right. Limitations of matter, which is one of our biggest principles in our philosophy, which is
Yeah.
why it's okay to go see a medical doctor and get blood work to see where your body's stuck and it maybe needs some help.
Hmm.
Right? It's not us against the medical world.
No, no.
It's like, if
I
I'm a
get blood
person,
work twice a year.
yeah, if I'm a person of faith, I don't hate an atheist or an agnostic or whatever, or someone who's having trouble believing, but I'm not there to shove it down their throat. If they want to have a discussion, we'll have a discussion. If someone
Yeah,
says, I don't believe in chiropractic, whatever, they're really telling me they're scared or
yeah,
something happened to a friend where they got hurt, which I can completely understand why you'd be scared. But now I've had millions of these conversations. Let's have a conversation that, if done properly, and you overcome your fear, does it make sense that this will make your life better? And they
yeah,
always say yes.
yeah, yeah. And I look forward to those conversations.
Hmm.
I like having them.
It's
It's not
great.
confrontational. I just like having them, man. People's going to learn something that's going to change their life in a positive way.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that I had the utmost of respect about this guy, Charlie Kirk, because I've followed and watched a lot of his stuff, and you learn that he didn't even go to college. He was self-made, self-read. The dude was brilliant, had a special brain. He was out there having tough conversations. And yes, he had his point of view, but he allowed people to have a voice openly and let's talk about this. And a lot of
Yeah.
times you would see people having a conversation in the open and realize, wow, I'm wrong. And it's okay to be wrong,
Hmm.
right? We don't always have to be right. I've said a lot of things and I've had a lot of beliefs where a year or two later, I'm like, wow, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to defend my wrong, I changed more to learning and becoming right.
Yeah. And I always reserve the right to change my opinion.
Right.
I always like
Right.
show me more evidence of why I should think this way, and shoot, maybe I will.
Yeah,
You
show me
know?
evidence that not changing your lifestyle, living with a clear nervous system is going to make you healthier.
Yeah.
Show me evidence that that's not going to work. I adjusted a lady for the first time. She's suffering quite a bit, and they want to do this. She's into a very holistic realm because she went the medical route, and it was actually helping her, but then she couldn't afford it anymore. So then she started going backwards, which sucks. It's like, well, she went this far. Just come up with a wellness plan to help her if it's helping her, whatever that is. Well, she's been having issues with the blood pressure. One adjustment, her blood pressure dropped and became completely normal. And they've been dealing with this for 3.5 years. The first
Yeah.
adjustment,
Yeah.
the doctors are all like, what did you do? She goes, I just saw a chiropractor. And all I did is her atlas, all. And immediately she had an appointment that afternoon, blood pressure completely normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And the people that want the research for that, 2007 Journal of Human Hypertension, May 2007. That's it. It's all in there. Where getting your atlas set um, is equivalent to the use of a two-drug combination therapy to lower blood pressure.
Well, didn't Harvard do a study on that?
Yeah, yeah. That's part of this Journal of Human Hypertension.
Okay.
And we're not treating high blood pressure. We're
Right.
just allowing the body to work like it's designed to.
Yeah, no, it's we don't dude, I can't treat a damn thing.
No,
I'm not that smart. You know,
no,
it's I've given in. I've I just don't think anymore. Like I've just thrown in the towel, and I'm like, God, it's in your hands, man. I'm not that smart. Just
yeah,
do the best I can, and I'm gonna have faith in this thing called faith.
hmm
Like, let me just
yeah,
do that and just help me do the best I can.
yeah. And even like detecting and correcting vertebral subluxations, it's just like second nature now. Like tying your tennis shoe, it's just like, all right, that atlas is right. Know
Yeah,
what to do. This
yeah.
one's left posterior. Know what to do.
It's funny because I hurt my low back doing deadlifts 2 weeks ago. And I love golfing now because it just breaks me away and just gives me space to think and chill. And I was having this pain in like my upper left glute, and Dr. Costa's like, bro, that's your SI joint. I'm like, I've never had an SI joint, anything, So I got adjusted and it did a little better. So golfing, I couldn't swing my driver. My body wasn't performing right.
Yeah,
So I shanked like the front nine, and I finally said the heck with it, and I just started using my hybrid. And then I golfed yesterday, and I instead of using the driver, I used the hybrid. And
yeah,
bro, I'm hitting it, I'm not hitting it 300 yards or 250. I'm hitting it 180 right down the middle, and my scores are better. It's more finesse, right? I'm not going against the grain, I'm going with it. And I'm humbling myself because I'm not trying to ego crush the driver, that I'm working with what I have right now, but I'm grateful that I'm still playing.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still in the game, but I had to shift and adapt for where I'm at right now. And I realized longer club, more rotation, blah, 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 like the whole physics of it, that I had to mentally talk myself into it because I'm like, I'm not a pussy. I'm not laying up there. I'm gonna crush. I can't do it.
no,
And I yesterday redeemed myself, had a great game. And it was like everything was just woo, straight down the middle, laid it up. I could find the ball. I'm not walking through the rough looking for it. Yeah.
yeah. And then you have more joy playing, you
I
know?
I just enjoy the peace, bro. It's a
Yeah,
meditation. It's like and it's a challenge. And I've got to be flexible. I've got to be, you know, because of my back, like I got to change my stance when I bend over to pick up a ball. My
hmm
buddy's laughing at me. A couple times they went to do it for me. I'm like, I got it. To put a
get
tee on,
out of here.
put a
Get
tee
out
on
of here.
the ground. I gotta do it with my right hand. It's hard to reach little stuff
Yeah,
that as a doctor, I'm aware of. But there's people living their life like this that are drugging it and not getting adjusted. Like
yeah,
this afternoon, I'll get it checked, I'll get it adjusted without
hmm
taking a pill, and I'll fix
yeah,
the problem. But because I'm in shape and I get adjusted regularly, I'm able to still adapt in golf, not
hmm
the way I normally do. But I actually learned. I told my buddy I'm learning something through this because they always say swing softer, more fun, and I'm actually playing better.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy how we learn that sometimes the harshness is not the best.
Nope.
It's just not.
It's
But
okay to
if
have a
we,
little bit of finesse. It's let these people be angry in the world. What's going on? I'm just going to keep trying to convert them one at a time to living clear and finding love in their life.
yeah, yeah,
However they handle their personal life, it ain't my business. But don't hurt anybody, and let's be more loving and forgiving and grateful.
yeah. And if we can do that, man, our life is going to be exponentially better. Like love people, love the Lord, um, have a little bit of finesse in your life,
And
and things are going to be
and this is
better.
why we pour so much energy into DE, man.
Hmm.
Right? Because our only attachment is to make the world a better place, and we do it through chiropractic. That's our
Yeah,
way. You got
yeah,
pastors, you've got worship, you've got people that are doing things, even dentists that are transforming people's. Our job is chiropractic and getting people clear. But with DE, it's getting doctors clear. It's getting
yeah,
doctors to heal. It's getting doctors to find their purpose, that they could serve more people. So we're not trying to do it alone. We don't have to do it alone. It's thousands of chiropractors that come through the DE that heal, that their practice grows because they're serving more people, loving more people because they found their purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Like you've taught me at DE, like it's okay to go serve and love and give with no expectation of return.
Yeah.
I've seen it for decades,
Yeah.
and look at our lives,
And you
look
know
at
what?
our lives.
Creating a space for people to have conversation. We had to adapt last DE because one of our speakers got food poisoning. So we jumped in and I went up there and shared, did something a little different, a little experiential, where it was giving people a chance to open up and find out where they were stuck. Well, it worked out pretty well. These people are the one guy's practice has jumped 100 visits since that DE when he found his rock, his thing.
Yeah.
The hard part for me is I want more people stepping in to share and teaching and motivating. It's not my show. Like I don't want to be that guy where it's like, oh, we need to do that again. Well, like, okay, but we need more speakers unraveling people's hearts.
Mhm. Yeah. But you're that's one of your gifts though.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like that's one of your gifts that you can do that easily with people, and people feel safe to do that with you.
100%.
You
And
know,
that
it's
creates that safety. Like that room is, to me, it's a sacred ground. And then that's one of the
yeah.
most things I'm grateful about. You think about, we had a board call last night. Everyone on that call is a powerful, spiritual, connected human being in their own right that
Mhm.
brings connectedness to that room. And then you got people coming from all over the country and all over the world that are in that room that they may not even be speaking that weekend, that create this sacred trust that's there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're going back to England. They're going back to Australia. They're going back to Canada,
Yeah.
everywhere, South America,
Yeah.
and changing the world there.
That's right, my man. So we got to implore people to make a choice now on your walk in life and to live clear, you
Yeah.
know, in many ways how you define that in your life. But I'm going to tell you right now, let's find you a pure principal chiropractor that could take care of you with the right intention to help you get there faster and then stay there.
Yeah.
And that's the movement. That's why we're doing these things. And when you have that clarity and your mind, body, and spirit could flow together better, and you're open to those possibilities, you're not going to be responding and creating hate. You're going to be creating love, and that's what we need.
Yeah. That's exactly what we need.
All right, my man. I love and
That's
appreciate
awesome.
you, bro.
Yeah, man. We love you too, man, so much.
Connecting with you, and again, everybody, like, follow, share this, man. Let's get the message out there, the views and all that kind of stuff. Drew looks at all that, and it's blowing up in a beautiful way, and we're grateful for
It
you.
is. It is. It is. We're making a bigger impact than we ever dreamed of, and
Yeah,
I'm thankful that he is blessing us with that right now.
amen, my man. Love you, pal.
Yeah, love y'all.